So last year, before we went on our Alaska trip, we made a promise to y'all. We did a video that told about all the products that we had purchased or we're taking with us on our trip to Alaska. And we promised you that when we got back, we would do another video and let you know exactly which ones we used and which ones we should have left at home.
Yep. As you may remember, we came up with a list by talking to different friends. Some went numerous times to Alaska. We watched other videos, studied this subject as much as possible to come up with what we thought was the ultimate list to take to Alaska.
And today, we're going to go through that list with you. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Danny.
Welcome to RV America.
The original RV America.
Now, we're going to get started on that list. If you haven't seen the original video, I'm sure Danny will put a link to it down here somewhere.
Yep, and I'll put a link to it at the end of our video. That way you can watch it next. Because there's a lot of information of why we thought we wanted to bring those.
Yeah, so let's get busy on that list.
All right, guys. We're going to start off with something I definitely had to use. It was the Coil pack wires. You'll think of them as spark plug wires for the F53 chassis on our coach. So if you followed us at all, last summer in 2024, going through the mountains of West Virginia, our engine stalled. We had to be towed to Pittsburgh, and it was all just an issue with Ford's coil wires, spark plug wires. And we changed the ones that were bad then. I should have changed all of them, as I mentioned in the video when we talked about this when we were in Alaska. But we had to use the coil pack wires. So if you have a Ford F53 chassis on your rig, you'll be glad if you bring some, because you don't want to be trapped in Alaska and trying to be towed to some city.
Next, our walkie-talkies. Let me tell you something. These things are so valuable when you are going to Alaska. It's unreal. Unless you have a CB radio, that might make a difference. But we didn't. These were used every single day that we drove because there was no phone service. You let the person in front of you, the person behind you let you know when you needed fuel, when you needed to stop. These are a must if you're traveling with a group.
So, as you know, we tow our Jeep. We bought a Jeep several years back, and one of the first things we did was get this tow defender. I'll show you a picture of it folded out, but it's a fabric that goes straight out and knocks all the rocks down from hitting your tow vehicle. We also put on a brush guard. We had that put on right before we left. And those two items kept our Jeep perfect. We didn't have any chips or any window issues on our Jeep because these two items kept the rocks off of our Jeep. Probably, I will say, we used them, and probably will say you might want to consider getting them too. In the original video, we talked about having just a basic toolkit with your basic tools, duct tape, zip ties, anything that you normally would carry. That is a must. We used them several times. Between the 4 rigs, one of us always had something we needed. I think one time we had to go to a parts store to get something for someone's stairs. But make sure you have a basic toolkit and supplies.
One of the problems a lot of people have when they go to Alaska is because it doesn't get dark, you don't sleep. And one of the things that we got to help counteract that was our Skylight cover. Let me tell you, we use this thing every single day. There was times we didn't even take it off during the day. Our Skylight, as you can see from the brightness right now, lets in a lot of light. Your natural thing is to just go to sleep when it gets dark. It doesn't get dark in Alaska. You're going to need one of these. You're also going to need something to cover your windows at. This is something we purchased, and I would recommend everybody take something like this with them if you have a Skylight in your RV. Definitely used.
And another thing that we had to use personally was a water pump. Now, we don't say that Alaska caused the water pump to go out. We had issues with it in the past. It always seemed to work. But while we were in Alaska, it completely went out. And this is something that the group came up with as we were thinking about parts to bring. And 2 people brought a spare water pump. So we had spare water pumps, and we ordered a replacement from Amazon. So make sure you have a spare parts, including a water pump.
Next on our list, the Milepost book. Now, I'll tell you what you don't need if you're going to Alaska with a group. You don't need every person in your group to have a milepost book. One would have been sufficient. We did not personally use the milepost even one time. We just didn't need it. We had internet every night, so we would download the maps for the next day, and our travels went great. Now, I will say this. Deb used the milepost book when she was planning the route that we were taking on our trip, because she did a lot of the planning for us, and she used this then. So it is useful, but to us it wasn't extremely useful. We didn't need it. We didn't use it. But especially if you travel by yourself with no internet, you will 100% need this. So similar to the milepost, the road atlas we did not use. We have it with us. We could have used it, but we did not use it because we were able to download the maps the day before. But as I said previously, if you are going and do not have access to internet, you need the milepost and the road atlas to keep you on track.
Now, here's a big ticket item that we bought: a spare tire. Most motorhomes, most Class A's do not have a spare tire. If you have one, you don't have to worry about this, but if you have a motorhome or any kind of rig without a spare tire, you might want to bring it. We were told that there are going to be mechanics that can put it on, but they might not have your size of tire, and you might have to wait weeks for it. So that could really throw a wrench in the plan. We had a spare tire. We put it underneath the rig. We didn't have to use it. No one had any major tire problems. We had one rig that had to air up their tire on a regular basis because it was going low, but we didn't have a problem at all. Now, the great news for us is that we knew we were going to get tires when we got back from Alaska, so we used that tire as one of the 6 as we replaced our tires. So we didn't waste money there. I would suggest having a spare tire when you go to Alaska if you don't already have one.
Okay, next on our list is RainX. Yes, I used RainX. I got both the RainX that goes in the windshield washer holder thingy, so that when I ran the windshields to rinse the wipers to rinse the windshield, it would work. Also, in between stops, this bottle right here is just right now empty. We used almost a whole bottle of RainX itself, because you will get lots of mud, dirt, bugs, all kinds of stuff on your windshield. You will need to clean it every single time you stop, and anything that helps is going to be your friend. So if you don't like RainX, you don't want to use this kind, get you something different, something to coat that windshield and help the dirt to come off easier, because it really gets dirty. Very, very useful.
The next thing I want to talk about is a couple apps that we made sure we had. One of them was All Trails, and we got that because we knew we'd be hiking in back of Alaska, so we made sure we had that. And remember, just like you can do with your Google Maps, you can download your trail maps with All Trails. That way, if you lose satellite, internet, GPS, you still can find your way on trails. That will keep you a lot safer. And the second app I made sure we had, and it's a free one. They might have a pro version, not real sure, but we always use the free one, was the iOverlander. We were able to find so many boondocking, zero-cost camping by looking at iOverlander. You can put in the filter whether you have a big rig, whether you're, how long it is, and that will really help you find the right site, the boondocks, and it was able to tell us were there enough room for multiple rigs. So iOverlander is a must when you're going to Alaska.
Next on our list is the first aid kit we took. Now let me tell you, if you're an RVer, you just in general need a first aid kit. Keep one in your RV. Hopefully you'll never have to use it. We did not use this on our Alaska trip, but we would have been really glad if we would have had to, that we had it with us. So carry a first aid kit with you no matter.
Another thing that was on our list is Life Straw. It's one of the filters that you can go and basically drink out of a creek. We didn't have to use it. We never got lost. We never had to use it all. That was something that we knew probably wouldn't need it because we always carry water with us. But if for some reason you didn't download your maps to hike with and you got lost and you had no water, that's something you're probably going to want. You probably won't use it, but it's there if you need it.
Let's talk about the Clam tent next on our list. We took our Clam tent with us that we bought just for this purpose. Now, we used it one time The time that we were there was a very, very mild summer for mosquitoes. We have heard, this was our one and only trip, but we have heard some summers they will pick you up and carry you off, and some summers they won't bother you at all. We were at one place where they were just horrible, and so we set the tent up so that we could sit out with Deb and Joel and hang out together. We could not have set out during that time if we'd not had the tent with us, I would say that, because nothing was keeping the mosquitoes away. So we do recommend that you take a Clam tent with you to have if you need it.
So one of the things that you're going to want to have, and just this is a must just in everyday travel, but we wanted to make sure we had one, and that's why it's on the list for Alaska, is Viair. This is the RV model. That way it'll pump up to these 110-pound tires. You just hook it to your battery, and you have power to run and pump up your tires. It's something that's a must and keep with you. We didn't have to use it, but should always have it.
Okay, speaking of mosquitoes, let's talk about our thermocell. We did use this. We found it very handy to just sit outside just to prevent. There are places you'll be that you cannot set up your tent even if you need it. So this was handy to have for then. I also recommend that you take some kind of mosquito spray, whatever kind's your favorite. And we use the buggy bands too, because on trails, on paths going through the woods, we did a lot of hiking. We wore these every time we went on a hike just as a preventative, and we found out they worked pretty well. Now, also on our list that we had earlier were the nets that go around your hat. We were never around mosquitoes bad enough that we actually needed that. So your summer may be different. That's up to you. So we would say that mosquito products in general are just a must.
Now you might be wondering, do you really need bear spray? You don't need it until you need it. So we say bring bear spray. We saw bears, we saw wild animals, and we've heard of people that ran up on bears on trails. So you want to carry bear spray and follow wildlife protocol to keep yourself safe. So make sure you keep that bear spray with you every time you're out.
Next on our list is our boot tray. Let me tell you, we are still using our boot tray. This gave us, we had a lot of rainy days, and this gave us a place to put our boots and our shoes on when we came in the door that didn't just mess up the steps, mess up the floor and everything. I love this thing. I will probably have one of these things in my RV for the rest of the time that I actually own an RV. So it was 100% useful, and thank you, Debbie, for telling me about it. Didn't even know they existed.
I mentioned Viair air compressor earlier. We have 2 jumper boxes that we keep. One in the RV that will jump off the your battery if it goes dead. It's got all the tools you'll need in that. And our second one we keep in the Jeep is just similar to this, but it has an air compressor, so we always have it in the Jeep. These jump boxes are amazing. They'll jump your batteries off. We've used it. We didn't have to use it in Alaska, though we did lose a battery, so make sure you check out that video. We'll show you that one. I'll leave that down below too. But you should have a jumper box in case you need it, in case your battery dies, and a second air compressor to go inside your tow vehicle. So the next thing I want to talk about is a tire repair kit. Did we use it? No, we didn't have to. We didn't have any flat tires. We had one rig that had a slow leak, and they got it fixed later on, but they didn't have to use a tire repair kit. Do you need to bring it? Yes, because you don't want to be stuck on some of these gravel, rocky roads that might tear up your tire with no repair kit.
Next on the list is Vella's Coyote vest. We had heard nightmare stories of animals being picked up by birds and carried away, and it just kind of terrified us to the point that we went and paid, I think, $55, $65, and this was a cheap one. We didn't even put the spikes that go down the back of it. She kind of looks like a little gladiator when you put the spikes on it. Maybe Danny will pop a picture up here. But we never used it. Bella is a Velcro dog. She sticks right near me. I just don't let her get away from me when we go out for walks and stuff like that because she is small. So we didn't have any trouble. Even when we were watching the eagles together, Danny just kept her close so I could get pictures and stuff. And they're not going to come near people typically. You use your own judgment if you have a small dog. But for us, we didn't use this. Probably will never use it. So if you want a good deal, just let me know. I'll ship it to you.
So you'll probably remember that we had a windshield repair kit, You've probably heard the stories that if you go to Alaska, there's a good chance that you're going to need to get your windshield repaired. We had the disaster of a dump truck, and this was on a paved road, going by with no cover over their load and sprayed all 4 rigs. All 4 windshields were destroyed. Some of us were able to wait till we got back home to change our windshields out. We had to change ours out. And one of us had it right in their vision, and they had to change out their windshield right there at Whitehorse. So make sure you carry a repair kit. We had to use it, no doubt about it.
So next is our raincoat and our rain boots. These are a must. We use the raincoat. I will say Danny used his rain boots more than I did because it always seemed to be muddy and rainy when it was time to set up or get gas. And instead of getting his tennis shoes all dirty and soaked, he would just slip on his rain boots that stayed on the tray at the door and go out and take care of the business that I didn't have to go outside for. So raincoat, rain boots, a must if you're going to Alaska.
Also on our list was a adapter for 30 amp to 50 and a 50 amp to 30. You might call them the dog bones. You probably have these, but we wanted to make sure you knew that yes, we had to use them. We were worried about not finding many 50 amp pedestals in Alaska, and that worry came true because there weren't many at all. I think we found 2 50 amps. So most of the time we had to take our dog bone and plug in our 30 amp plug so we can then plug in our 50 amp. So we had to run off 30 amp most of the time. If you have 50 amp, you definitely want to bring a 30 to 50 amp plug. So the last thing that was on our list were leveling blocks. You probably travel with these. And did we use them? Oh, definitely. And if you remember that video, we talked about Lynn finding several of these. She searches these out at yard sales, and she found some extra ones. So did we need the extra ones? Yes, we need the extra ones. And our thought pattern was, which came true, was we'll be doing a lot of boondocking. And when you're boondocking in Alaska, you definitely need some leveling blocks to make sure your rig's level. So these are a must, and maybe consider getting extra ones.
So that completes our list. And between the original video and this video, we hope you have a really good idea of what you need to take on your Alaska trip.
So if you've got any questions, or if you thought of something that is not on our list that you needed in Alaska, put it down below so everybody can learn from that.
Yeah, people read these comments, so that'd be good. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed.
And hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified when our videos come out.
Yeah. And just so y'all know, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy days to watch our videos. It means a lot to us. Until next time, God bless and many safe travels.
And go RV, America.